Yeah, here
we
go. Oh, hello. Sitting up straight.
Thank you guys for coming to another episode of Across the Room podcast. Well, it is technically across the room. That's it. Just across the room.
Yeah.
We have a very special guest here today. Comedian, cannabis enthusiast.
There you go.
Cannabis associate.
Nice.
One of my former colleagues in the cannabis industry, Mark motherfucking Gonzalez.
Hey, what it do, everybody? Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Long time in the making.
Coming.
Yeah, we've been trying to figure this out, but my life's hell. And it's busy. And
I've seen it.
Yeah, I know you have.
Firsthand.
Firsthand. But yeah, I figured, hey, you know what? I don't have to stay somewhere for 15 hours straight. And I was free today, so I was like, let's do this.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm glad you came in, man. We needed a different perspective on what comedy actually is. You know?
Oh, I would love to give it. I have a lot to say.
We're starting comedians, I guess. You know,
I mean, I guess.
we have a podcast that we try to be funny on.
Yeah,
So.
it's the same.
Keyword is try.
Yeah, as long as
It's where you start. You know,
it's where you start. You go in front of a mic, but yeah, no, you guys do it the right way.
I guess we choose our audience because they can watch it if they want, but they don't have to.
That's true.
You know, so it's not a bunch of people that actually hate us. You know?
Like some of the rooms I play. It's like, no, sorry guys, it's comedy night. Sorry, no matter what. I know you came here for a pizza, but too bad we have a microphone.
I heard you had a tour coming up, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be hitting the road. I'm gonna be in San Diego this weekend at the Madhouse Comedy Club, and then I'll be. I got some other shows. I got some local shows in Orange County coming up next month as well too. We got Pittsburgh lined up, Arizona. We're doing the kind of little mini US tour. We're back in Arkansas later this year.
Right on.
So little by little.
Arkansas.
Yeah. All the southern states, they need comedy out there.
Yeah, and we'd love to promote it on the Instagram too. Like your tour, we can post it on the Instagram. I'll post it on my Instagram.
We're happy. And then if any of the Orange County shows, just let us know.
Yeah.
I definitely will go to those ones.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But thanks for coming in. And and then obviously my co-host Renee Angel's with us.
Yeah, we wanted to get the guest first.
Yeah.
What's going on? I'm talking to the camera.
It's okay.
What's going on? Where's my camera at? There's only one. It's my iPhone.
Hard cams right here. Your camera's ringing for some reason.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for listening to another episode of Across the Room.
Yeah, but thank you for coming on, and we're going to start this off with our first segment. Obviously, it's a mainstay here on Across the Room. We're going to start with a shout out of the week or your win of the week. Either or.
Yeah, either or. Community.
So, does anyone want to start first?
I'll start. I can start first.
Okay.
My shout out of the week is the 3-day weekend.
Hey.
There it is.
Usually work Monday through Friday, but got some plans this weekend, so I requested Friday off, and I got it off. Short notice too, very short notice. Actually, you're usually supposed to get like 2 weeks. I did it yesterday.
Yeah.
So
You got away with it?
yeah, I got away with it. Yep, I just snuck it in real quick, and they said yeah. So nice 3-day weekend. You get to relax for an extra day. Sunday night, you're just dreading going into work on Monday, but it's cool.
See, I don't know
2 days, baby.
I don't know how your situation is with your boss, but you're either worried that he just gave you the day off, or you're like, oh man, we're really cool. You're kind of stuck between that tight spot right there.
No, me and the boss are cool. I've golfed with him. Yeah.
It wasn't just like, yeah, man, you got the day off.
Yeah, like, whatever. Stop talking to me, dude. I got shit to do.
Yeah, go away.
Yeah, whatever.
1 day less to see you? Fuck yeah.
And then on Friday, he's like, where are you at, bro?
I did? I was drunk. I'm sorry.
No, but the 3-day weekend, shout out to the 3-day weekend. I got one coming up, and I'm excited.
There you go.
What's up? Any plans on the 3-day weekend?
It's Mother's birthday.
Birthday.
So I'm going. Shout out to Geminis. Shout out to the Geminis too.
Hey.
Point at the camera. And but yeah, so we're gonna go dinner and movie. I'm gonna see Jurassic World.
Sick.
The
I
new
heard it's gonna
Jurassic
be a
Park
sick movie.
on a Friday. And Saturday we're gonna do some Topgolf, some drinking and stuff like
We're going to
that.
Vegas.
No, there's one in Ontario now.
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, there's one in Ontario now, and there's one in El Segundo too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the El Segundo. We're getting a little off topic, but I'm going with it. El Segundo. I think they have an actual golf course there too. It's like Topgolf, like a driving range,
Yeah.
and I think they have an actual golf course. I know there's a Topgolf with an actual golf course.
Is the company actually Topgolf, or is it like just driving range.
The company's Top Golf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have you guys been?
But
No,
it's
I've never been. I know a lot of
driving
people that go there.
range.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Hit some balls and stuff.
Well, golfing's a big thing now. It's like very trendy.
Right here.
Yeah, I've got miniature golfing, but that's about it. So I'm behind
we'll
the
keep it
times.
there. You know.
Yeah.
I went to the range a couple times, but the club ended up in the air, so we're just gonna stay.
We
away
can
from
go.
it. Yeah.
I can. I for the past few weekends, or I've like I said, I grew up in the Inland Empire and Palm Springs too, and I was golfing a lot when I was living in Palm Springs. I was learning, I'm not good, and then I stopped for a little bit, but I know the basics. And then just recently, like within the year, I just gotten into it again. Trying to get my swing.
Here you go.
But really, you're just kicking it with the boys. You're going. It's like on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Have a ice chest full of beer.
Yeah.
And you're just hanging out.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting drunk and that's it, right?
Exactly.
That's the whole point. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, you stop keeping score at like the 9th hole halfway through. You're like, I'm not even keeping score
yeah.
here. I'm just smacking a ball with a
Yeah,
with
that's
a
like
stick
the
right
one,
now.
and that's like the one sport you can like get drunk and still play. And it's
Yeah.
like bowling, but bowling you can do the same thing. But like with golf, you get drunk, but you ride
Yeah.
around the carts and do the whole thing. So yeah, it's
Shout out,
entertainment.
Shout out to John Daly, man. You
Oh,
know John
John-
Daly.
he's the
Yeah,
goat. Yeah, he's the goat.
He's the
Yeah,
goat.
he's the goat.
Yeah, bro. Shout out. I'm drinking coffee. We'll drink to that though.
He's watching his carbs, but
Yeah, summer's beach season, baby.
but it's the creamer in it. I don't know.
Doubled up with Modelo. Dude. Doubled up with Modelo.
I saw a stat. Like I guess at the last tournament he did, they took a stat of what he drank, and it was like I forgot how many beers and like what he ate, but he drank no water. They said that the key was at 0 water. I was like, holy shit!
Like soda, Dr. Pepper,
all this
too,
kind of
right?
everything else, but no water for like however many hours.
Yeah.
Like,
You're sitting there like, how's this guy not passed out yet?
Dude,
yeah, chain smoking.
yeah. They said he finished a pack like with like one round. They're like, dude, that's 2 cigarettes a hole.
he can't go to the doctor, else they're gonna find out he's dying. Like you can't. Like that's it.
That's good though. Just don't go to the doctor and you're not sick. Bro.
Exactly. Like his insides are probably solid oak, and that's it. And like just leave him like that. You try. It's like a transmission you haven't fixed in years. Don't try to change it. You're gonna fuck it up. Just keep going. Keep going until it's gone.
Yeah,
That's
put
it.
some earmuffs on so you can't hear the noise.
Yeah, there you go. It'll go away. It'll go away when it all shuts down finally.
Turning up the music a little bit. I can't hear it. But shout out to the 3-day weekend.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna do my shout out now.
Yeah.
Basically, my shout out is to Cheeks Productions, our actual channel, because Cheeks Productions is actually gonna be at Ease Dispensary on the grand opening Saturday the 18th, 12 to 4. Ease will be there. They're doing discounts. They're doing giveaways. They're doing all the vendors will be there giving out shirts and stuff like that. So please come, and you might get interviewed by Cheeks Productions. Thanks, but thanks for
awesome.
Shouts out to you guys too for
definitely.
for giving us the motivation to getting us out there and putting our name out there, because this event, it's a big event for Cheeks, and just hope it goes well. And yeah, it's awesome. Thanks guys a lot.
Yeah. Really means a lot.
Sentimental, right? Let's move on. Let's bring the
Yeah.
energy up a little bit.
So I do a shout out too.
Yeah.
Can I do a shout out to Tall Cans? Tall
Yes, you
Cans of
can.
beer. Let's do shout. I
out
like
Tall
it because it's like it's one beer, but it's really 2. I mean,
Let's
let's
be
face
realistic,
it.
yeah.
And it's usually for $3. If you go to a liquor store. But why the fuck is it like 20 if you go to like Dodger Stadium or like a fucking somewhere? I mean, it's crazy how they try to do that. But I like the fact I like Tall Cans because it's exactly that. I feel like I used to when I was 21, when I was a young scrapper kid. I used to drink a tall can of Old English and a tall can of Steel Reserve, and I was drunk for 6 hours because I timed it. I'm like, fuck, it's all I needed. So but maybe I was like, oh, okay, that's why I have OCD probably, because I weird shit like that. But yeah, man, for tall cans, I love it because you get down them and like you fucking all you need is 2 and that's it. You're good, at least for me.
Yeah. The tall can is a science experiment, bro.
Shouts out to the tall cans. Shouts out to. No, we're gonna wait on that one.
Wait till they pay you to say the name.
I saw the M. You were going to say your shout out to no. Hold
Show us the money first.
Well,
before
when
you say your
I
name.
get front seat tickets to UFC,
There you
then
go.
we'll start talking about sponsorships and stuff like
that'd be
that.
sick.
There you go.
Show me the money.
Yeah, so we have Mark on today. Basically, I met Mark through the cannabis industry. We used to work together, smoke together, all that good stuff. It's nice for you to be here. I know you're busy with what you got going on. It's all crazy. But the comedy trip, how's that? How are you looking forward to it?
Oh yeah, I love road gigs, man. Road gigs are my favorite. Just like out of all things comedy, like there's the grinding aspect of it where you do open mics every night. I've been doing it for 16 years now, so like I got stories, I got experiences. I got plenty of bombing. I always remember the bombing stories more than the nights that I kill.
Of course,
they're always their scars, their emotional scars that will never go away. You're just like, fuck, I remember that night, and. But the fact that things are open again and things are kind of getting back to normal, the just normal flow of things is great because comedy was pretty fucking bleak the last 2 years really. So 20 I guess it's like last 2 years as we approach 3. But man, when the pandemic happened and like when all the shutdown shit, it's like we need people. Like half of the job of a comedian is performing in front of an audience. Without an audience, we're nothing. Like we got nobody.
Yeah.
So that was like the real like hard part for all of us really. So now that things are open, we're back on the road, like shit like that. It's great. I used to do it full time, for a little bit. I used to tour with Ralphie May.
Ooh, rest in peace, man.
Yeah, thank you. He was one of my good friends. So it's like getting back in the swing of things is fun. It's fucking looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to those nights where it's just with comedy, like I said, it's a mixed bag of experiences. There's one night, you're doing crowd work and, you got a guy in a wheelchair missing an arm and he wants you to talk shit to him. You're like, no.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, I think it did. I think Kay and Peele did a skit about that.
They did.
Yeah.
Make fun of the burns.
It's so fucking true. I watch that all the time and I laugh. Like I laugh hysterically because I've been through those. Like I've been through those nights, and
is it kind of that aspect of like the changing of each night? Is that kind of like what draws you towards comedy? Because it's going to be different every night, right? You're not gonna get the same people, in the same crowd, and it's not, you might not even get the same laughs.
Absolutely. Like a joke that could kill one night. Might not work, or like you have 2 shows. The first show it would fucking crush, and you just got all these laughs. Second show, exact same delivery, exact wording, dead. And it's always because of most of the time it just depends on your audience. So like one of the important things for a comic is to also study your audience and see who's in it, know your audience, kind of know where you're at. If they're older people, maybe tame it down a little bit. If they're younger, they're probably going to fucking go nuts. But these days it's always the young kids that are bitching about everything. So who knows now? But like, I'm offended. Da, da, da. Like, oh, fuck yourself. But you never know. But like, but that's the challenge. Comedy is just a fucking challenge, to be honest. And like, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. I'll always say that. And I think that's the aspect that I really like about it. And that what makes me kind of like want to try, like continuing to try.
Yeah.
Cause like I tell people like, I can write a joke. That's easy. But writing a killer fucking joke and then writing another one, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
And so you're like constantly chasing that satisfaction, that validation of like, okay, I said this line, it always crushes. So there's nights where you will say that line and it hits 0. You're like, oh fuck, it didn't work. It's
so
like
you're chasing it. It's almost like chasing the dragon.
Yeah. Now you're like scrambling.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I don't know. That was my ace up my sleeve. I don't know what else to do.
I don't know what
now
to do now.
you got to figure shit out.
Is crowd work after that?
Oh yeah, it's crowd work. Yeah.
Like, that fucking sucked. Damn, I gotta go to crowd work.
What do you do for a living?
Yeah.
Oh, your color, your hair's black, huh? That's cool.
Get a load of this guy.
Yeah. What are you doing over here? Like,
where are you from? That's far.
And I laugh because as soon as a comic starts doing that, I'm laughing in the back. I was like, oh man, they're eating shit.
They're tanking.
I know exactly what's going on in his head. He's probably panic mode. Like if we can have a camera in our brains, it's us looking through a file cabinet. Like, okay, fuck, what's a good line? What's a good line to say? Because that's me. Like I'm fucking my. But I've been cooler now. Like when it comes to like anytime, like like one time I was trying to do crowd work and there's this dude that he just got out of jail and like sitting in the crowd. We're in Oxnard.
Oh.
And I go, hey man, I was like, oh, so you just got out of jail? He goes, yeah. I was like, well, I'm gonna ask a question. So what'd you do? He goes, don't worry about it. I went, no problem.
Say less.
That's it.
Say less.
I think that night Carlos Mencia was headlining.
Fluffy.
And I think he was headlining it. And
Oh, it's not. That's a Gabriel Iglesias.
that's Gabe. Yeah, that's Gabe. You're close. They're all Mexican. They're all the same.
Nah.
They're all the same.
But Mencia was next, and he caught wind of it, and he's like, he just like right before like he went on stage, he just like he goes, so which one's one of those went to jail? I was like, it's that guy in the corner. He goes, okay, I make sure not to talk to him. And he kind of did. He kind of like, of course, like because he was there to see him.
Yeah.
So like he eased up a little bit and just kind of like was more welcoming compared to me. So like there you have those nights. But that's the thing. It's just, you gotta have thick skin, and you kind of have to know how to like, control an audience, and it's fun, man. And at the top, like it's fun. There's nothing like performing in front of a live crowd. I will say that.
And that was a question that I had, because I know that stand up is a lot of about capturing a crowd, because you have to get their attention. Yeah. Obviously, if your energy is off once you get to the stage, then they're going to see that in you.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of comics that do different things to capture their crowd, like right off the bat, or whether it just be doing crowd work, like when you start off, when you get up there. But I'm curious as to what's your take on capturing a crowd?
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. It just depends on, what feels comfortable to you, because the crowd will see that automatically. Right away, they're just going to be like, oh, this guy's nervous, and they're going to be like judging you the whole time.
Yeah.
And so they're in their head thinking, they're not even listening to you. They're just judging you. So for me, what I've learned over the years, like I remember I used to start off with crowd work, because I used to feel, okay, get to know the crowd, they know me. And, but I remember one time I was doing shows in what was it? I was in Tempe. No, I wasn't in Tempe. I was in Arizona. I was somewhere in Arizona.
Tempe?
Yeah, there's
Scottsdale.
I grew up in Scottsdale. More south Arizona. It's like another 2 hours.
I failed geography. I have no idea.
I know. I can't remember off the top.
That's all I had was Glendale. Tucson,
Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Lax Comedy Club in Tucson, Arizona. I did a weekend there, and I remember I was hosting. It was like one of my first like road gigs by myself. And the sound guy was like, you know what? You shouldn't do crowd work. You look a little like he didn't say the word nervous. He just said like you lose them a little bit. He goes, but your material's real strong. You should just do your material. I don't know why you just don't do your material. I was like, I feel like I should do crowd work. So they, kind of play with them a little bit. He goes, no, trust me. Just you have confidence in your material. I was like, it's good. Trust me. This is a compliment. I went, no problem. So the next year I went up and I just did that. I just did my material. I was like, oh shit, that worked. Like,
nice.
I'm actually like, so ever since that moment, and it was always like, I just come out swinging. Like, and then the more you do the road and the more shows you do, you kind of pick up little things, little tricks to do. Local references always help. And so like, you just kind of get them going. You find something where they could all like kind of agree with you. And then that way you kind of capture them automatically off the bat. Excuse me. And that's what I do. So when I go on stage right away, I'm just, because every comic is always going to ask the same question. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good to be here.
Yeah. It's like, I know we fucking said great like 3 times already. There's fucking 3 comics. So, I always, I introduce myself. Hey, everybody, fucking nice to see here. Depending where I'm at, like, I'll talk about that real quick. And then I kind of just get into it. Like, and then I do my material. And, but the first part of my material is usually who I am, where I'm from, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So the way how I think about it is like, it's a conversation that you're having with people. Yeah. So, I want them to get to know me, who I am first. A little background, and then we could go from there. I could take them wherever I want after that, for the most part. So that's what I do. Yeah, that's what I'll generally do.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that too. Is like, what do you think sets those like Dave Chappelle and like the Theo Vons? How is it that they're able to like capture every crowd? Do you think they're like the most adaptable to like their crowds and stuff like that? Oh, because like I heard like they kill all the time. Yeah, and it's just like for me, just like you, I'm like, dude, there's a different audience every time. I don't see how like the same jokes can just do great every time. But I heard they just kill all the time. Yeah, so I just don't understand.
Depends how strong they are, but also they have their own audience. They're kind of well known, like especially with the Chappelle. Like, there's a huge difference between me and Chappelle. He's famous. I'm not.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
so like he could walk into any room, he'll get a standing ovation before saying a word
because they paid for it.
Yeah, well that's it, and they know who he is. And they have expectations, and they just go, "Oh, I know this guy. He's gonna make me laugh." Yeah. So they're welcoming. I show up, they'll be like, "Who the fuck are you? Make me laugh."
Okay.
So that's really the difference between like I would say like audiences.
A demand versus like a.
They just know what they're going into.
Okay. But there's also some people like famous actors will try to do comedy and they'll show their face and it was like, oh my god, they're here. Oh my god, like this. And then they might be brand new to comedy, start trying to do comedy, and then people are realizing, hey, this guy's not that funny. And then like they slowly start losing the audience.
He's like T.I.
Hey, T.I. eats a lot of shit.
Is Brennan Schaub. We've had some things about Brennan Schaub.
No, I don't have anything. I think Brennan Schaub is a good person. Okay, he does. No, he is. He's naturally a good person. He does a lot for a lot of people, but I personally just don't think he's that funny. That's just me, though.
I don't think so
it's not my type of comedy. But his last special was actually not bad.
Okay.
The Gringo Poppy, I watched it. I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. It's not the best, but it's really not that bad. He has some funny funny jokes in there. But he was really just talking about his Mexican family throughout the whole time. He wanted people to know that he had a Mexican family.
Have you seen they have a, what is it called? The Fire Companion now with him, Brian Callen, and Chris D'Elia.
Callen.
But Chris D'Elia, like, you could tell Chris D'Elia just goes in on him sometimes because Brendan Schaub just kind of like helpless, you know. And Chris D'Elia's like, I've been doing this for years, motherfucker.
I started with D'Elia. Me and D'Elia, we go back.
No shit.
Yeah.
I love congratulations.
Do you know like him personally? Then?
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't talked to him in years, but like, you know, I know the situation, and it's funny because when when things were breaking out, so we used to go, you know, I mean, we used to, like, this is, you know, 15, 14 years ago when we would hang out and stuff. Yeah, we go to strip clubs, we go to diners, hang out. I remember one time it was me, Brent Morin, some of his friends, and like, we're just comics. I think we went to D'Elia's house, and then like we're sitting watching TV, and D'Elia just comes out naked. Hey, you guys, have you seen my socks? And we're just like, what the fuck? And we're like, God damn it! And then he just walks back in, and that's it. He puts clothes on.
Was it like a bit? Like,
He's always on. Like, and with D'Elia, like, dude, we did rooms that were just, you know, 6 people in a fucking basement, and every fucking time he would murder and just crush and kill.
He would make it seem like that basement was like a shit ton of people with how much they were laughing.
And we would eat shit, and we were just like, he was always. And I've been, you know, I've witnessed, you know, I've witnessed his, you know, in the beginning, I was there. So like, you know, I always defended him, and I always backed it up because I've seen it. Like, he put in work. You know, a lot of people like to say things because, you know, his dad's big Hollywood producer.
Yeah.
But like, no, dude, like he put in the work, man. He was a workhorse. He went up every night. He always had that it factor. He could always capture an audience, and the dude was just a fucking machine. And just, you know, I've seen him. I went to a Showtime special this very first time he did. I think it was live nude comedy. It was a theater in North Hollywood, and I was there. And yeah, like 3 standing ovations, and it was just him being him. And but yeah, I will say, I mean, I miss hanging out with him. We always had a blast. But you know, I went one way, he went the other way, and that was it. And when it came to like, you know, us hanging out. And then Brent Moore, and I know him, Jason Collins, we all go back. We used to hang out. We all kind of started at the Ha Ha Cafe in North Hollywood. So that's where I got my chops at. But D'Elia, D'Elia, and then Chappelle Lacey, he's a good friend of mine too.
Right on. I was going to ask about that one too.
Yeah. Arizona.
Chappelle's so sick.
Yeah, I met him in Arizona. We'd get him on shows when we were over there. Because I'd go on the road with Corey and Chad, the Smash Brothers. That's who I would roll with, and then we would roll with Ralphie. So that's how we all kind of like. That's how all that like cycle started happening.
Yeah, it's crazy how all of it's like comedy's just. It's like anything else, like any business. Probably everything's just intertwined. Mm-hmm. You see the same people and stuff like that. So you guys really get to know each other, especially if you're you know at the same level. Because obviously there's levels. You know.
Totally.
So. Yeah, man. So, like, I know I don't know. I know Chappelle, but only because I listened to the podcast, and he was there when shit went down with the fighter and the kid.
Yeah,
and I respected the fact that how he was able to stick with Brandon throughout the whole time, even because they had another host on Fighter and the Kid too, but I'm not sure if he quit or he got kicked out, but yeah, man, Chappelle just like seems like a genuine guy coming from where did he come from? Mesa? Was it Mesa?
Yeah, Arizona.
Or something like that? Phoenix or something like
Mesa.
that?
I know he grew up around there.
Yeah. And because his story is well known, you know.
Yeah,
adopted, white family. His dad was in jail and stuff like that, but now his dad's in his life. And he's, you know, you can really connect with him only because he's been, like everybody else, like a lot of other people, he's been through some shit.
Yeah.
You know, but,
you know, management shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I never want to fuck with him. That's for sure. He's a big fucking dude, and he's strong as hell, and I just know I'm always cool with him.
Shout out to Chappelle, man.
So I mean, cool like, what's a good story? I mean, you got stories. Give me a story of you and Chappelle. Come on,
the ones that I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm not incriminating here, people. On Six Productions.
Like, I mean, like what? Just like, I mean, like one of my favorite when everyone bombs, everyone eats shit. Like actually, it's funny with D'Elia. I remember the very first time I met him. We did this show in somewhere in Hollywood. And it was like the Cat Club or some shit like that. And I remember everyone was eating shit. And I remember he ate shit, I ate shit. And we're just like, we're just eating shit tonight. And I just remember, but ever since then, I was like, and then ever since then, he just crushed. He would always kill after that. But the first time I met him was the only time, like, it was just a bad night. And so, like, there's always, like when I mentioned it earlier, it's like, we always remember our bombings before anything. And my worst bombing, I would say, I did a road gig in a little town called Pine Top, Arizona. and it's like the northern part of Arizona, at the Honda Casino. Honda. It was a Indian, yeah. HON.
Native American name.
Yeah, which I learned a lot because I learned a lot there because I'm Mexican, Native American, like Navajo, Apache, and Mexican. So it's like that's why I look Filipino for some reason.
I feel you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sure you get the same shit
Straight
too.
out of the islands, boy. Straight out of the
So I learned
islands.
some things that weekend because like I drive up 9-hour trip. We fucking finally made it, and actually I have a story about the trip too, but we'll talk about the bombing first. So I go over there, we're running late already. So like we finally made it. We barely had time to relax, just straight to the show. I had to open, and I was going through a phase where I was watching a lot of Don Rickles and like Ronnie Dangerfield, and we were talking about crowd work.
Yeah.
So I got really, it was maybe my third or fourth, maybe fifth, sixth year doing comedy. I fell in love with crowd work because it was so easy. Like, 'cause you didn't have to write material. It just, it's easy. And there's two sides to that. So with crowd work, you depend on the audience and you depend on them to be responsive, and you kind of create material in the moment. And the fact that it creates a moment gets everyone to kind of laugh and have a good time, and it's that kind of thing. So it was a packed room, maybe 200 people, 300 people, sold out. And this town in Pine Top is a retirement community, so everyone's old as fuck. So, and I'm this young kid, I'm 38. This was maybe 10 years ago, so I'm in mid-20s. I would say mid-20s, maybe late 20s. And I love Don Rickles. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Don Rickles, but he just fucking just destroys the audience. Just, hey, where you from? Da 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 da. So I am doing crowd work. I'm trying. No one's talking to me. No one gives a fuck. And I'm just like I was trying to do some material. I only had like maybe 5-10 minutes of material that was strong enough to like that I knew that worked. And the rest I was just doing crowd work. I had to do like 20 minutes. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do crowd work for the first 10, then I'll do my material at the second 10. No one's responsive. Everyone was like this. They're like this shit. I was like, fuck. Like in my head, I'm like,
crickets.
Man,
Crickets.
yeah, exactly. So all of a sudden, this guy in the back starts yelling, "Say a joke already!" Shit. And then I go, fuck, you want me to say a joke? He goes, yeah, say a joke already. I was like, yeah, I will, but by the time I finish it, you might be dead by then.
Oh,
and he
damn.
goes, boo! And then everybody else, boo!
Boo this man.
Yeah, everybody. I went, okay,
Tomato.
all right. And I was like, all right, guys, listen, I was trying to have some fun up here, so, and then I was trying to do my material, and just, like, no one gave a fuck.
Damn.
So, like, the guy in the back, the headliners, are, like, lighting me, like, yo, get the fuck off. Just get the fuck off. I was trying to clean it up. I was like, nothing. I was like, all right, well, I was like, I guess that's my time. Yeah. And I barely did, like, 8 minutes out of the 20 I was supposed to. I got paid already, so I don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, that was the important part. So I got off stage, and they give you coupons for the buffet. And I was like, I'll take the coupons.
Yeah.
I went to go eat by myself. And like after the show like let off, like people were like walking past me, not even looking at me, not even wanting to acknowledge me. I'm just sitting there like, thanks for coming. Like it's like,
They're like, better luck next time, champ.
yeah. Everyone just, I felt all the eyes on me. I'm just like, yeah, I know. Like I know. Like I know. And there's this like there's like 3 chicks that were there. Like, hey, we're from LA. Like, sorry
We thought you were funny.
Yeah, like, they go, we got it. Don't worry, we got it. Like, and they were telling me like these people are all older. They don't give up. They're just like, it's not. It wasn't your fault. And I was like, no, it totally is. Like, I just didn't do what I was supposed to. I was young. I was a young comic. At least your first 5 years, you're not really a like. I mean, there's different levels of comedy. So it's like, your first 5 years, you're just figuring your shit out. You really don't find your voice at the 10-year mark. Richard Pryor said that, and I could definitely like confirm that. It took me about 12 years, to be honest with me, though. Like 8 years, different phases. Your first 5 years, you're bitter as fuck because you're like, how come this guy's getting more shows than I am, and I'm funnier than him, and yet he's gonna be on a show, and da 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 da. And then you start like, oh man, am I gonna quit? Am I gonna what am I gonna do? I remember I tried quitting. My 8th year, I kind of fell in love with it again. And then like I hit my 10 years. It's like, cool, I hit my 10. And I was like figuring it out. But it wasn't until my 12th years when I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And like ever since then, it's been like, okay, cool. I know who I am. I know what I talk about. I know my voice. And like I know my material. I know what would work with me, that sort of thing. But yeah, when it comes to like stories, like that's probably like my worst bombing story.
That's crazy too, because that's a pattern with a lot of comics though, which you just said. Because I listen to like 20 podcasts, and they're all comedy podcasts, like including Congratulations, The Fighter and the Kid. Like I said, this past weekend, and Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee, even like
shit.
That is
Shouts
a
out Bobby
same
Lee.
shouts out to Bobby Lee. That is a pattern with a lot of comics too. They're trying to find their voice. They get discouraged. They're like you said, why is he doing this? He got a show. He got a show. Why am I not getting a special on Showtime or HBO or something like that?
Yeah.
And then they kind of get discouraged. And like you said, it's all about finding your voice.
Yeah.
So I really respect the game. I do. Like with stand-ups, it's not an easy thing. It's definitely not an easy thing.
Because like I think of like myself in that bombing situation, and you know how were you pretty quiet after, like, oh, okay, like whatever. Because I would have been like, fuck you.
I felt defeated. I felt like,
what are you laughing at?
Like, what am I doing? Like, I don't
like, you better go. You have medication at 9:00 tonight. You fucks.
Yeah, too. Like, I think like it was more like, if anything, I just because I'm so passionate with comedy. If anything, it made me realize, fuck, I need to write more material. Like, I need to stop leaning on crowd work because sometimes it won't happen. You'll have those nights. Sometimes audiences will roll with it, but sometimes they won't. Like, especially at some of these dive bar shows that I do. Like, you know, it's everyone's watching TV. They're not even there for comedy. You're trying to do crowd work. No one's talking to you. And I always see these comics. They get mad. They start, turn around, and it's like, dude, you're fucking ruining the room. Like, you're killing the room. And then someone like me that knows what they're doing will go up, try to turn it around, and then we're back to business. But like, but yeah, you just gotta figure it out, and you kind of have to like know how to read a room and be observant and like know when you're kind of eating it, or know when like you should stop, or know when you should stop talking, or just have more awareness, self-awareness, if anything.
Yeah. So you would say crowd work should be like a back pocket thing.
Absolutely.
Like you have that in your back pocket.
There's two ways to go about it. Bill Hicks said that you keep material in your back pocket and do the crowd work. But I mean, he always did, like, being the present. Like, the most important part in comedy is being present in front of your audience. Like, you might practice all your shit and you know what you're gonna say in your head, but like I said, that audience might not be receptive to it. So talk to them, figure out where they're at in the beginning, and then you can kind of go from there. Excuse me. And so like from there, yeah. So like, if anything, material, like you want to have material, and like end of the day, you need material. But like with crowd work, could be used as I use crowd work as a back pocket when my material isn't working.
Yeah.
And then once I get them back, then I'll pull out my material again. Okay, let's see if it works now. And then I'll try to intertwine my material with the crowd work. So it might sound like I'm like, just I'm just bringing shit up, but I have a bit about it. So I'm just like, I fucking, fuck, I'm trying to think, just anything.
It's crazy because you're going through this shit in your mind while it's there.
Yeah.
Well, like while you're not saying either like bombing, or while you're doing your set, you're going through like you're reading the crowd and you're thinking about everything that you can do, or like you're thinking pretty much. Are you thinking 2 steps ahead?
Yes.
Trying to at least
Think of it as freestyle rappers. Like,
yeah,
they're always like 6 steps ahead. And when I'm on stage, I have one voice going this way, and I have another voice in my head talking to myself, going, okay, like, like right away, I'm like, hey, how's everyone doing tonight? Da, 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 da. Just going with it. In my head, I'm like, okay, these fuckers, let's see. All right, that's person there, this person there. Okay, cool, I'm going to do this one. And that's literally what I'm telling myself in my head. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Okay, take your time, shut up, let them talk. Like, this guy's talking to my right. And like, I'm constantly like talking to myself. So it's almost like you're just kind of like zoned out. So you have one voice saying what you usually do on stage. And the other voice, you're just figuring it out. Kind of like a strategic plan of your plan of attack, sort of say.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely, you got to be at least a couple steps ahead.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's great. It's an art form, man. It's an art form.
For sure. It's an art form, and you got to have some thick ass skin to be in this, right?
Absolutely.
Thick ass skin, because I'm sure you guys have the best jokes about each other.
Oh, dude, I tell everybody, I go. It's so funny because I laugh when people are like, I'm pretty offensive, right? I'm like, listen, listen.
Trust me, dude.
There is nothing you could fucking say.
I showed you to my
haven't
girlfriend,
heard. Yeah.
and she was like, I can't do that.
I tell everyone,
like,
hang out in the green room, and you'll hear the most racist, offensive shit. But it's funny because it's like, none of us are. Like, we're just having fun. But it's just the fact that we're not supposed to is why we do it and why we laugh at it, and that's all it is. So, but trying to explain that to the fucking generation right now. Like Ralphie May, like when we're on the road with Ralphie, like there's like he got picketed. I wasn't there that weekend, but he got picketed because he had a story about his friend, I think, arrested the retard, and so like they would be picketing. They were picketing. He says retard, and they had a bunch of mentally disabled kids in the front, like picketing
that's
too.
even worse.
So he sent them. But this is the funniest part. He ordered pizzas and he had them fed to them. They're like, yeah, those retards love pizza, like that kind of shit. So it's like stuff like that. But I remember one time, actually, speaking of stories, I had this bit about an old boss that I had because I used to work at this like women's apparel company as a like data entry and shit, right? And so like she was a bitch to me all the time, and so I was put in my 2 weeks and I was leaving to do comedy, and I remember she's like, "Oh, you're quitting to do comedy? Well, good thing because you're fat and ugly. That's perfect for comedy."
What the?
She told you that?
Yeah. So I was like, "Okay, all right, no problem." I was like, but she had this like lazy eye, right? So she had this lazy eye. So I was like, okay. And like I remember all the girls, because I worked with a bunch of women, they're like, hey, out of all of us, who's the hottest one? I was like, oh, the one with the lazy eye. They're like, oh, why? I was like, because I like having sex. I just don't like being watched. And so like I said it on stage, right? Yeah. And and I made fun of myself too, that kind of thing. So after the show, someone comes up to me after the show at the merch table. I'm selling merch. And she goes, hey, yeah, your show was really funny, real funny. But the joke about the lazy eye, I didn't like it. It wasn't funny at all. And she had a lazy eye.
Oh, wow.
So, she's like, I didn't like it. It wasn't that funny. I was like, well, didn't you hear all the jokes about myself? Like, I was pretty self-deprecating. She goes, no, I didn't hear that. I just heard the one about the lazy eye that wasn't funny. I was like, oh, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I think you're fucking deaf, too. Yeah. And she's like, fuck you then. I was like, hey, and it's exactly that. So it's like, you want to talk some shit, I'll put it back.
Well, do you do that self-deprecation to actually like put that line there of like, yes, I might be saying some shit, but I'm also talking shit about myself, so you guys really can't say anything about the whole bit.
Yeah, that's the difference between like a lot of people like to say like don't punch down. So like you always want to have a little bit of humility as well too, to let them know that hey, like like for my thing, like I have a shirt that says shit on everybody. And it looks like the font. You remember those Cleveland versus everybody shirts, or name the city versus everybody? Yeah. So I a buddy of mine made a shirt that said Kobe versus everybody, and I was like, it'd be funny if I had a shirt that said shit on everybody, like because that was my theme really. And I just I go after everybody. Like I don't go after. I just happen to say. Yeah. So like that's my thing is that like I with what I talk about, it just depends how I feel about a certain subject or my experience of things. So I take whatever bothers me in life and I talk about it on stage and I just shit on it, and that's generally what I do. So yeah, to answer the question, yeah.
So I don't mean to cut you off, but that was is that part of your writing process though? Like, do you throughout your day, do you just think of like little things that happen here and there? Because you got to have a really good memory. Me personally, like I wouldn't say I wouldn't be able to do it, but my memory is total shit. Like I would forget any like shit that happened this morning.
Yeah, like I have like on my notes, like I'll have like premises, like all this is all like stuff I'll write. Like, oh wow, just ideas.
Is it like every little thing too? Like do you feel like every little thing can be transformed into a joke?
Yeah, like for example, I have people that love puns. Like I hate puns, but sometimes I'll do them. Yeah, but like the fact that I know like these days a lot of people love dad jokes. And so, like, I'm just like, I find those people annoying. I'm like, but that's not funny. Like, I get it.
I compare that to like mumble rap.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard.
Specific audience. Yeah. It's not hard. It's easy. But you're not really doing it.
Yeah. But you said you like Ronnie Dangerfield. You would look up to Ronnie Dangerfield. You know his his one-liners, right? Mm-hmm. Like that one on the J. Cole song. He's like, one girl told me to come over. There's nobody home. There's nobody home. I went over. There was nobody home. Like she wasn't home. So like. Shout out to Ronnie Dangerfield, by the way.
Shout out Ronnie Dangerfield.
Yeah, shout out Ronnie Dangerfield. Actually, I went to his comedy club in New York when I was in New York.
No way.
They closed it now, though.
Yeah, it sucks. I always wanted to go there. I always wanted to perform there. Never did. When it was one of my first comedy specials I watched, I was 11. And I watched the Ronnie Dangerfield HBO Young Comedian special. And that's how I kind of really got like in. That's why I fell in love with comedy at a young age. And so, but Ronnie Dangerfield, he's always been like one of my favorites.
Yeah, actually, Ronnie Dangerfield's because girls on Tinder, Bumble, they're like, oh, hit me with your best dad joke. I'm literally looking at Ronnie Dangerfield one-liners, and like, or there was one Willie Nelson. He has one. It's like a one-liner or like a little story. He said, what the fuck does he say? He's like, a guy told his son, hey son, if you don't stop masturbating, you're gonna go blind. He's like, Dad, I'm over here.
Yeah.
I have that on my bio, and actually gets some love. It actually gets some love. To be honest with you, I have no idea where I was going with that Ronnie Dangerfield one, but I hear you say Ronnie, and Ronnie, and it just reminded me of the time I went to that club. I forgot who I saw though, but I think it was
what club was it?
In Dangerfield's. It's in New York.
New York?
It was in New York.
New York City?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I've been in New York once. I did shows there. I think a comic strip, and then that was it. It was like in 2009, I think. So it was a minute ago, but I just did a mic, and that was it. Just to say, all right, performed in New York at least once. But I'm supposed to go like later this year too. So
So
this year, next year.
are you doing like a tour right now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can call it that. Like, just I book shows. I don't have a. It's just me. Like there's two ways to go about it. You could try to get an agent, booking agent, try to do that thing. But I have like my credits. Like I don't really have. I have credits. Like I've been on Viceland. I was on Funny How, the season finale on that episode where we talked about like if you could teach comedy, which we could talk about that. But like as far as like I've never been on like America's Got Talent or like MTV or like Fox. I could have done stuff like that. I just didn't. My thing was always just like I always wanted to work on my shit and be like just undeniable and just be able to like I wanted to be as good as I could be before I try to like present myself out there. But there's a catch-22 is that no one knows who the fuck I am. I like to think I'm pretty fucking good, but nobody knows who I am. So a lot of those opportunities I kind of missed. Going back to like with D'Elia and them, when they were on Undateable, I think. Because
was that Rick Glassman on there?
Yeah,
too?
yeah, Rick Glassman. Yeah, Rick
Take
was
Your Shoes
there.
Off podcast. I
Yeah,
listened to that
Brent,
today.
Ron Funches.
What's Undateable? What's that?
It was a TV show
a
on
TV
Channel
show, yeah.
4.
Yeah.
So like what? Yeah, I don't. It was like 2 seasons, I think. 2 or 3
so,
seasons.
yeah.
It was short lived, but I because I remember me and Brent when we all started, like I remember he goes, "Hey, we should hang out with like D'Elia and them more. I feel like we get further." It's like, no, I think I'm gonna hang out with these guys. Like, and fucking everyone quit. I'm the only one. I was like, they were like part of the Stern crew, but like that kind of fell through. Everyone had drug habits, and everyone just kind of like fizzled out. It's
the worst.
And so I see everybody on this side, and they're on TV. I see Ron Funches' part. I was like, fuck, that could have been me. That could have been me. So going back to like that part, it's like opportunities like that, or just I just didn't bother to show up. I found out I made it to the World Series of Comedy like I think 3-4 years ago, but I was pissed because like I didn't win that night. But they still watched the tapes and they moved me to the finals and I never showed up. I put all their emails in like my trash inbox. So like they're trying to hit me up. Yeah. So the weekend now they're like, hey dude, congrats for making it to the finals. Like me, like
What are you
I'm
talking
making the
about?
finals.
Yeah.
Like I told them to fuck off. They're like, no dude, like you're supposed to be in the finals this week. I was like, oops. So like shit like that. Like and I go, fuck. Like why did I let my emotions get the best of me. And that's rule number 2. Like, don't like try to like be smart when it comes to like opportunities. So that's why I say like I fucked up. I fucked up a lot of opportunities, but doesn't mean it's never gonna happen again.
Yeah.
I just kind of have to like get back in line, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what comedy is, man. Like I should be hanging out at the Comedy Store more, the Improv more. And which I will. I'm just gotta have the time. So that's really it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. It's commitment, man.
Yeah.
You really got to show up and you got to network, show your face. I would say going up on stage is just as important as showing up and just showing your face, because it's networking. Like most of it's like just networking, knowing the right people. That gets you further than just like your talent.
When I hear Bobby Lee talk a lot, he talks a lot about how he knew the owner of the Comedy Store.
Mitzi?
She was
Mitzi, yeah.
Mitzi.
Yeah.
And were you like, did you know her at
Never
all?
met Mitzi. I've been around here, but I never met her. And I've hung out with Bobby a couple times too. Like I've been in the same room with him a couple times.
I feel like you guys would be great together.
Yeah, he's
I don't
funny.
know,
Yeah, he's funny. I know some shit about him. Sorry, Bobby. I'll tell him after though. But yeah, it's I will say that like the experiences that you have with comedy, it's like you'll be in the same room with people who are like, oh shit, that's like so and so. Peter Dante is a good friend of mine. Do you know who Dante is?
No, I can't say that.
From Adam Sandler. Okay, so Dante was Grandma's boy. He was the drug dealer.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I met him at a show, but it was at a bar in Santa Monica. And I remember like I showed up and I go, fine. And he looked at me. I looked at him. He was like, what's up, man? Yeah. I was like, fuck, he looks familiar. I can't remember like where he's from. I hit up another comic. I was like, hey, he's someone, right? Because dude, that's Peter Dante. I was like, oh fuck, it is Peter Dante. I was like, holy shit. Like I grabbed his boy. I was like, I fucking knew it. I was like, wait. Because he had a hat on and shit.
Water boy, the football.
Yeah. He was a quarterback. Yeah, he was a quarterback. Like he's in every Sandler movie. Yeah. And so I was like, fuck, I'm like, put me on first. Because there's always opportunities where it's like there's someone in the crowd. So that was another thing. Like my opportunities were always like, someone's important there. But when I go up, by the time I go up, they're gone already. Like shit like that. And that happens to everybody.
Yeah.
This time, I was like the second or third and he stayed. So I was like, fuck, I'm bringing my A game. I just came out just fucking blazing and he was dying. And so after the show, he goes, dude, you're so fucking funny. I was like, thank you, man. Thank you. Like,
all excited,
I was like, it worked. And he goes, want to hang out? Let's hang out. We smoked, we drank. I got home at fucking 5 a.m. fucking blitzed out of my mind. I remember we're like listening to his music because he's a musician. So we're listening. We're talk comedy, and he knew Ralphie, and he was telling me how he started comedy, and so just those weird if I never showed up, I would not have experienced that. And so that's why I tell people, show up. Like, you got to show up. You just got to hang out. I've had shots with Nick Swartzen and TJ Miller one time. Yeah. TJ Miller's a shit. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Hilarious as fuck.
When they were trying to cancel him, I remember like, how can you defend TJ Miller? I was like, listen, he bought me a shot, and we talked about comedy.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what he did. I was like, he's a good guy in my book. Like, sure, sexual assault or whatever. Like, I don't care.
Besides that, he's a great guy.
I don't know anything about that.
Besides that.
As far as I know him.
All I know is that we did 2 shots and we cheered to comedy.
He told me about Silicon Valley, and that was it.
Which was a great show. I was so mad he was not on there anymore. It was the best part.
Man, TJ Miller's hilarious. Yeah, he was on Deadpool too. So you know a lot of like actors and stuff like that.
So? I would say that like.
So you hung out around like Hollywood a lot. Yeah. That's like your kind of like your area that you hang out in.
Yeah, like I'd be at parties, Hollywood parties, a lot of celebrities and shit like that. And I was just the quiet kid in the corner. It was just more of like, I was very shy too, and not as confident as I am now, I guess, when it comes to like going out and like, hey, like trying to like introduce myself. So I was just like a wallflower sometimes, and just being around it. So, but. Yeah, but I mean once again, that's one thing I fucked up. Like going as I did, the more I did comedy, I should have done this, I should have done that. And that way I could have had a little bit more footing. But it's not over. I want to do comedy. That's it. Comedy's my end game. It's the love of my life, really.
Yeah, awesome.
So,
You ever been bumped?
Oh, plenty of times.
What does that mean?
It means when you're going up and somebody comes up, like somebody just shows up randomly. All right, I'm playing now. You're out.
When I used to work at Haha, right? With me and DeLeon on them. When Damon Wayans would show up, I was like,
I heard some stories about Damon Wayans.
I go, forget it. Like, I'm not going up tonight. Because, I'll be like second to last or something. And then Damon shows up with his video camera. I'm like, fuck. He's
he's going to be here for like 2 hours, man.
2 hours. He'll do like his material. Then he'll be like, what else do I want to talk about? We're like, how about getting off the stage?
Like on purpose, too. He looks over at you, winks. All right. So we're going to keep this going.
Yeah, I'll be like,
shout out to Mark.
It'll be 3 a.m. I'm like, dude, like, I'm not going up tonight. I've been here since 7. Like,
waiting.
Waiting. Yeah, shit like that. But now, this is like my first 5 years of comedy.
Well, that's opportunity. That's what you're talking
exactly.
about.
Exactly. And show up. I was friends with this kid for a little bit, Damon Wayans Jr. When he started comedy, we'd hang out. I haven't seen him in years. I probably doesn't remember me, but he would hang out at the club. That's how you do it. Like, you just kind of gotta network, show up, and just rub elbows with people, be nice to people, and that's generally it. Like, just be a good person.
At the end of the day, just be a good person overall. You know what I'm saying?
You should. Everyone should.
Right? The way the green room sounds, it doesn't sound like living with a lot of great people in there.
Trust me, there is pieces of shit out there.
We're all in the green room at comedy stores.
Like with Ralph, with Ralphie, my favorite is he would set you up. Like, he always he'll set you up so that way he could just shit on you for the rest of the night. Like, he just he'll do things to kind of when you talked about stories. First time I got high with Ralphie May, he gave me a fucking edible.
I'm gonna cut you off, but Ralphie May, I grew up on Ralphie May.
Oh, good,
I watched Ralphie May with my dad. And I gotta get a picture of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we're finished, I gotta get a picture of that because
sick.
Yeah, I grew up with Ralphie, my dad, and my brother. This is how we bonded.
That's so cool.
Actually, what was he said one joke? He's like, it's because he lost a whole shit ton of weight.
Yeah.
And he's like, one thing about being fat, you lose a fat man, you're still fat as hell. Like, you lose 200 pounds, you're still fat as hell.
Yeah, he's still fat. Yeah, still fat.
Yeah, but dude, Ralphie May was the shit. Like, shouts out to Ralphie.
He was he was one of the nicest, loving, everything. Like, he was I miss him.
Southern hospitality.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly that. Every year we go perform for his childhood friends in Clarksville, Arkansas. He's buried there. He's buried in Clarksville. Oakdale Memorial, if anybody wants to go visit him there. People, last time we were there, people left joints and beers and stuff like that.
And then tell us about the edible story, because we're getting sentimental now. And I want to hear about
let's change it up. We'll change it up. The first time, it's on my comedy special too, Gonszo, if you want to look it up on YouTube. But I'll give you the unedited version. So we did a weekend somewhere in Arizona again, and I think we did stand up live there. And so it was my first night, like really hanging out with him. And he goes, "Hey, you want to get high with me?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do. Where's the joint? Where's the bong? Let's go." And he goes, "Open your hand." I go, "All right." And he goes, "Here, eat that." I was like, "Eat this." I was like, "Okay." I unwrap it, and then we're just talking. We're watching wrestling. And he loves wrestling.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, because he grew up in the South, so he was like, we're watching the old like NWA wrestling.
It's real to me, damn it.
Yeah. That kind of shit. Yeah, that kind of shit. So like, he was, he goes, "Oh yeah, this wrestler." He goes, "I spit on him," and he come out, I go, "I spit on him too." He goes, "I put like that kind of shit." We're just laughing, and I'm eating it, and then like Corey and Chad, they're hosting, so they come back. Ralphie goes up, takes off. I'm finishing eating right away. Chad, he goes, "What are you eating?" I was like, "Oh, Ralphie gave it to me." He goes, "Oh, fuck, what did he give you?" I go, "Oh, it's a Chiba Chew." And then he goes, "Oh, fuck, what kind?" And I go, "Oh, it's a Decadose." And he just laughs. Goes, "Ah!" I goes, "See you later, kid. You go to space." And I was like, so I think it's like 175 milligrams of THC.
Oh, wow.
And this is the first time I've ever had a fucking edible.
Okay. That's
So this is the part. I didn't know that was a Tootsie Roll or some shit like that. And I was like, I've done mushrooms before. I don't give a fuck. I could write it out. They're like, "No, this is different. This is different." I'm like, whatever. I remember like 30 minutes went in. I was like, "Oh man, my neck." I was like, am I peaking? They're like, "Ah." Am I peaking? They went, "Ah." Everyone just laughed. I was like, whatever. But next thing you know, I just, my neck and my whole fucking body was just like this.
Slump.
Next thing, I was like, what the fuck, dude? I could not move. I was fighting it for 7 hours. It was the worst experience of my life. 7 fucking hours. I was just slunched over. Everyone's poking me because I couldn't move.
Everyone's poking
The
you like you're
cerebral palsy
dead.
face.
Yeah, I was literally like, what the fuck? I was like, I can't. Chad was like,
when you're moving.
dude, Chad goes a bottle. He goes, "Drink this." He puts a bottle of water. Drink that. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like this. I can't move my hands, man. Like, yes, you could. You could do it. I'm like, like I can't. 7 fucking hours. So I was like that the whole night. But Ralphie was on stage for like 2 hours. Oh, yeah. He comes back. Right away, fucking Chad's I'm quoting Ralphie here. Yeah. So Chad goes, "What the fuck? You gave him a fucking Chiba Chew?" Without skipping to me, Ralphie, he goes, "I told that nigga to take half." And I was like, "No, you didn't. It's fucking sad. You want to do that anymore? You want to get high with me?" Yeah. I'm all like, "You motherfucker." And then like I'm still like slunched over, and I remember like Chad whispers to me, he goes, "It means he likes you." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
He's all happy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
This is great.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Thank God he likes me.
Best day of my life.
Yeah.
Initiation process.
That was it. And that was literally it. And then ever since it was, "Hey, Marky, you want a candy?" He went, "Fuck you." I was like, so every time like when he had his residency in Vegas, and I would go surprise him and go visit him, and that's when I started working with him more. And same thing, you just always want to get high and just have a good time, and he was the best, dude. He was the best. A lot of the shit like we do for him and just keep his name out there in honor of him. And yeah, man, I can't say enough things about him. Great fucking guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
you good? Go ahead.
So I know you were talking about watching wrestling. I remember you telling me that you're actually trained for the wrestling. And one of your best friends is actually in AEW.
Yeah, one of my best friends is the AEW TNT champion.
Awesome.
So yeah, he owns TNT, the channel.
Sick, man.
How cool is that? Scorpio Sky, Skylar Andrews. He's he's been one of my best friends. I want to say maybe 7 years ago now, 8 years ago. I always wanted. I'm a big wrestling fan. Wrestling was my first love as a kid. I always wanted to be a pro wrestler, and then I wanted to be Eddie Murphy. Those are my two things I always said like when I was like 5. I loved Eddie Murphy. That was like my first.
Raw?
Yeah, Raw. His SNLs. I have all. There's 3 versions of his best of SNLs. I have them all.
Did you have the whole leather outfit?
I always wanted to.
The jacket and the pants. Yeah.
When I recorded my comedy special, I thought about that. But then like Amy Schumer, she called hers the leather special, and then like
about Amy Schumer before.
yeah. And then everybody was like doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do it.
There's a lot of vagina in that special, right? Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, a lot.
Didn't
of
watch it,
a lot of thick muff is broadcasted on that channel on that special.
So you were training like what did you exactly do? Did you go to like where did you go to train for WWE or what?
Yeah, so I would go to these shows called Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. and they would broadcast their shows in the studio in Glendale. And so that's how I knew about them. And I would always, me and my sister would always go to them. And then they started, hey, we're going to train like people. If you want to learn how to be a wrestler, we're going to start training people. Like, oh, cool. So it was like at a warehouse behind a recycling plant, like a recycling center.
Sick. Typical place.
Yeah. So it was real like Rocky Balboa shit, like,
hanging meat and shit.
Is that how you were training? Just throwing cows.
just throwing fucking cans here. I go out there and pick up those cans first, then we'll get going. So like I showed up and he was the one. I didn't know who he was. I knew who he was. But at the time, I think he wrestled in TNA, like TNA back then. Mason Andrews, I think he was wrestling at.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
He's on
so,
TNA all the time.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so and then. So, I mean, I'm a big Laker fan, and I also run Fear LA. It was a Twitter account I've had since like 2008. And so we're talking, and I was like, yeah, I'm a big Laker fan. I was like, yeah, I run Fear LA. He goes, wait, you run Fear LA? I was like, yeah, I run Fear LA. He goes, dude, I follow you guys. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, I'm a big Laker fan too. I was like, no shit.
That's crazy.
And that was it. Like, and then we training and like talking like, Lakers, and then he's a big comedy fan too. And that was it. And he would offer you, hey man, you want to hang out? I'm like, yeah, let's fucking hang out. Like, got to know him more. I was, I was a little nervous around him in the beginning. But then like we just got to know each other, and then that was it. And then, I seen him from that point on. I went to Ring of Honor, and then I was there when he got picked up by AEW. Cody Rhodes loved him. He was a Cody guy.
That's sick as fuck.
And and so just see him. I've seen a lot of his his ups and downs, but to see him where he's at right now, fucking so deserves it. He's put up with a lot of shit. So, but it's cool. Yeah, as soon as he became TNT champ, I was like one of the first to know he was going to get a personalized TNT title. He showed it to me. I wish I would have known. I would have showed it to you.
That'd have been
it's purple and gold belt. Yeah, if I would have known, I would have showed it to you. Yeah, he brought it up to me and Eric Watts. He's another really good friend of mine. We call it shows the squad. It's usually us three that would hang out. Taco Tuesdays, we'd always fucking go party. He would ask us, he goes, I think I'm going to name my belt the Gold Mamba. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, dude, he goes, you want to shot the Gold Mamba? I was like, that has a good ring to it. Yeah. He's like, I'm trying to think if there's any other names. And I was like, how about something to reference Winning Time? The Showtime, a Lakers TV show.
Oh, yeah, Showtime.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe something to reference that. And that's when I think, he came up with Genie. He goes, I should name it Genie. I go, hey, Genie's a great name.
Genie Buzz.
So that's why, you'll see it online and be like, who wants a shot at Genie? And he's talking about the belt. I was like, that's so fucking cool. So
that
it's
is sick, actually.
Yeah, so it's cool. Yeah, we go back and it's cool, man. And he I know Peter Avalon and good friends with Peter, Pretty Peter, PP Ray, all those guys. And I got to know Brian Cage, cool dude, hung out with him. A lot of wrestlers you'll see in AEW. I'm cool with. So it's cool to be in that, and it's so parallel. Comedy and wrestling is so parallel.
Would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
In what way?
A lot of things like dealing with bookers, performing.
When you're at the bottom, you're at the bottom too, right?
Yeah,
it's almost like an open mic. All right, who's the star gonna fuck up tonight?
Yeah,
okay, we'll pick you.
Yeah. If you go to a small indie show, it's bunch of nobodies that are just learning and trying to figure themselves out. Same thing with open mics, comics showing up trying to figure themselves out. You'll get a drop in of a well-known wrestler that everyone's there to see. Damian Wayne shows up, bumps you, that kind of thing.
Or throws you through a table.
Yeah, throws you through a table. Yeah. There's the parallel.
You wrestle now too.
Yeah. So I was
everywhere.
It's funny because my gimmick was gonna be. I was trying to debate what my gimmick wanted to be, and I was gonna be a comedian. I was gonna go on stage with Tonight Show music and with a mic stand and a stool, be in the middle of the ring.
That'd be so funny.
Do 2 minutes or roast the crowd.
Use it as a weapon.
Yeah. I was gonna do that. I was gonna do maybe a minute of material. I was gonna roast the audience, and then but the most important part was that I never win a match. Because the comedian never wins. It always, that's the part. That's the point. I never win. And if I win, it's an accident. The guy's going to punch me. I duck. He hits his hand and trips over. And I fall on him because I'm hurting. 1, 2, 3. I'm like, what? I fucking won? How did I win? Shit like that. If I win on an accident.
Hilarious.
So that was going to be my gimmick. And then my finisher was going to be a snapmare. Because a snapmare, it's just when he throws somebody over. But I was like, why doesn't it work? Because it's just a snapmare. That's it. But I was going to be the master of it. It was going to be stupid. It was going to be so dumb.
It's the different variations.
Yeah. Modified snap. Yeah. That
is just a basic move.
Yeah. Real basic.
JR.
Good God.
He's on fire.
They did it on the table. A snap there. or the double axe handle. I was gonna be the master of the double axe handle too.
You set him down nicely.
Yeah. Like some of the wrestlers that are doing now, like Orange Cassidy, I fucking love. He's great.
The one with the hands in his pockets.
Yeah. Glasses. When he was he did wrestle in Ballin' Park a lot, and bar wrestling. They used to have a lot of shows down there before like the pandemic. And the indie wrestling is great. So much fun. It's so much fun. It's just like I would say like a comedy show where it's just everyone's there to have a good time and everyone's just like, and they perform for the audience. Just same thing as like comics, perform for the audience. Most of the time, like as comics, like we're just there to kind of like do our own shit. But the crowd, like the audience, you need an audience. So. But yeah, those are the parallels to it. So
that's fucking awesome. That's so great. No, to hear because like I've always been a like big WWE fan.
Really? Okay.
And I started watching late, like 12. I don't know if that's late, but it's late for me. That's what it was because everyone else was watching it. I wasn't. But yeah, it's cool to hear because like I know all those guys. I remember watching TNA and I know. Who was it? The Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, dude. Alex Shelley and fucking
the other guy. I remember, but they were crazy because they did like flips and shit off the other place. Yeah,
their matches with Young Bucks or Generation B.
The Young Bucks,
they were sick,
dude.
Yeah.
And it was always like the cool thing about it was always. Like the improv was just so great because it was just like flip, another flip, and then another flip, and then over the ropes, and then through a table, and I'm just like, oh shit, so much going on right 12. Now. I'm like, yes.
Did you ever watch ECW back in the day?
Never back in the day. I watched them when they went to WWE because I didn't even know who they were at the time.
Oh man, that was. I went to Heatwave 2000. And it was in LA at the Grand Olympic Auditorium, and I remember like a riot broke out.
Oh
I was like,
shit! That's like ECW
crowd. I was like 15 because like the rival LA XPW Extreme Pro Wrestling, like there was like they're trying to rival ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. But I was an ECW diehard. I liked XPW, but they weren't ECW. Like ECW was the shit. So they showed up. They're trying to fight people and like real life shit. Fights were going off everywhere. I was like, "This is awesome."
Real?
Yeah, it was legit. Like,
like no merger thing. Like,
no.
Like
it was
WCW was like it was like
they were trying to enter the building. They made them like flip their shirts inside out. So once like that was they waited till the main event. So if you watch back now, Tommy Dreamer jumps on the mic and goes EC fucking W. Reason why he did that was because. They had a stall because there's fights going out. Someone threw water on Francine, like in the by the ring. They had to escort them out. There's fights going on with him this way. Chaos, dude. I was like 15-year-old kid going, "Oh, this is great! This is awesome!
This is everything I know."
Yeah. Whoever you're with is like, "Oh my god,
yeah,
this is real.
We're like,
it's real to me now."
Dude. So much fun. ECW, dude, that was my shit back in the day. I loved it, dude. So like AEW, like every the chanting, people will chant ECW. Now when they chant AEW or they chant anything, it started with ECW. So many things started with ECW, the things that we like now. So it's like chanting "This is awesome" or "Holy shit," all that came from ECW. So I highly recommend watching old episodes.
I remember Rob Van Dam.
Yep.
Sabu.
I worked with him too.
You worked with Rabu?
Yeah. I worked with both of them actually.
Sabu?
We did a comedy pilot called.
Those guys are fucking crazy, bro.
I'm sure you guys heard of Roast Battle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before Roast Battle, we did it first. No one wants to say this, but I will fucking gladly say it, and I can
It was on
back it
Comedy
up.
Central,
Hear
right?
that? We're saying
Yeah.
on across
Yeah.
the room. We're saying it.
Yeah, it was on Comedy Central.
first.
I mean, they made it successful, but we didn't. We
Yeah.
just filmed a pilot for Spike TV back in the day.
I fucking love Spike, dude.
Okay, so back in the day, this was back in the day. So the concept was very similar, except it was more pro wrestling. It was called Championship. It was called Championship Comedy, and then they changed it to Extreme Championship Comedy, and that's where Sabu, RVD, Sandman. I got caned by Sandman on camera. You can look it up on YouTube. It's all on YouTube. Just type in.
awesome.
I think you can type in Extreme Championship Comedy or just Championship Comedy.
ECC.
Yeah. And so RVD was the champ. Actually, the main event was supposed to be me and him, like battling with comedy. But then that's when Sandman came out and caned me. But like the first night, he missed his cue because he was too fucking drunk and on pills and shit. Which is funny because Sabu goes, he goes, "Don't worry, kid. We know it wasn't your fault." I was like, okay. And then the second night, he hits me. And he goes, "Yeah, you're lucky he's drunk because if he was sober, he would have murdered you." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, he doesn't know his own strength." I was like, and it's Sabu too, cool as fuck. He's even cooler when he has his shit, like when he takes his shit. That's how we'll just say that.
Sammy, is that Sandman?
Sabu? No, Sabu. Remember Sabu? Oh yeah.
He's Sandman.
Yeah, or Sandman was there too. Sabu was just drunk, like the whole fucking.
No,
like,
Sabu
weekend.
is Sammy.
No.
You said
Sandman.
Sandman.
Yeah, you heard of Sandman?
Did you say?
So the Sandman was a wrestler. Sabu was the other wrestler, and then it was RVD. So you know RVD and Sabu though, right?
Yeah. Sandman was the guy who was going to hit you.
Correct.
With the cane?
Sandman. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Sandman was the one with the cane. Yeah, because we did a spot where I was gonna walk up the stairs to the stage. We filmed this at the Ontario Improv. And he was like right behind me like this, and I was like, oh, and he was like, I was like, no, and then he fucking hits me and I sell it, that kind of thing. They put another comic through a table, but they fucked him up. Like
You actually got hurt.
Yeah, I got fucking hurt. Yeah, I think Sabu threw the chair at him, and he fucking didn't catch it in time, and it. and then like they laid it on the table. RVD and Sabu did the thing, but I remember Sabu had like he has this fucking like his little garb on, and he had to like hide his face because he was laughing like oh fuck, like oh like we fucked
actually hit him.
yeah, they fucked him up. We saw him in the back. It was Zoltan. He's another comedian from San Diego. Yeah, I think he's from San Diego. And he was in the back all fucked up. His eyes were red. He's like, yeah, man, I can barely remember shit. I was like, fuck. But dude, those guys were cool as fuck. Paul Heyman made an appearance. Not there, but like on tape.
Yeah.
So he was involved. Eric Bischoff. And Eric Bischoff was the one that pitched it to Spike TV. So I met him. He remembered me last time I saw him at Double or Nothing last year. And so like it's the weird world of pro wrestling and comedy is very like involved, especially now these days. It's like kind of like I would say it's like a mixed pot now. But yeah, man, I got like I said, I've done some shit.
That's fucking awesome.
He's been around.
I've been around. I've seen
Seen some stuff and some things.
Yeah.
Some things. You don't want this, man. You
don't want this,
really good, man.
You don't want no part of this shit.
I have a lot of like almost stories. Like I was like but it's like but like I said, like
what's an almost story?
Oh well, like we're thinking like, oh shit, this is gonna get picked up, but like the guy that was actually like the producer of it, like his ideas were super cheesy, and it just didn't work. They didn't understand it, and the way how Roast Battle did it was the way how I wanted it to do it, and so that's why I say they did it right. They did it the way how they're supposed to.
So do you say like a lot of the opportunities you missed was because of the creative control you probably didn't have over it? Like,
Yeah,
or
it
like,
wasn't-
hey, like this is not my vision, so I'm gonna like kind of.
Yeah, I mean with that, he just didn't want to listen to anybody, and he just wanted to do his vision. But all of us were like telling him, hey, we should do this. That we're trying to make it funnier, better quality. And he just wanted to do what he wanted to do.
A certain way.
Yeah, and that was it. So, but it was an opportunity. I was thankful, and and it was an experience, and I learned from it. And that's how you have to like you see the silver lining in everything. So like I like when I talk about all these missed opportunities, it's like at least there's something that I learned, and now when like the next one presents itself, I know what to do. I know what to do when I know not what to do. And that's it. And that's all you can do. Like especially if like you're just starting out in it, you just learn, and then you just keep doing it. You just be relentless, consistent. Eventually it's gonna happen. It's a marathon. I remember one of the very first things someone told me was that it's not a race, it's a marathon. Comedy is a fucking marathon. Like don't expect to, be this overnight sensation. Because nobody is. They might seem like it, but they were doing it for like 20 years before they got their chance. So
that's what it seems like though. If you like with especially like comics nowadays too, with like a D'Elia.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see the the grind that he had to go through.
Yeah.
All I saw was I became a fan at the roast of Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
That's when I became a fan of him.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude's hilarious. And that was a couple like not even 5 years ago.
Yeah, I was in that. Like his first big opportunity. I remember his first comedy special. I think he was in it for like only 8 years. But like I said, the guy's a freak of nature. Like he could command a stage like just so easy. And some people have it. Me, like I said, I just wanted to learn my chops before like. I wanted to be undisputable. I wanted to be someone that was like, bulletproof before I went out there. But he had it since day one. So that's why I tell everybody, I was like, no, man, like you fucking had it. Like he's always had it. And there's some people do, some people don't. Some people, it takes, 20 years to do it. Some people take 5. And the important part is don't get bitter about it. Like that, you kind of have to focus on yourself, and you can't let that fuck with you.
Like you said, it's a marathon, man. It's a marathon.
That's it.
Do you have any favorite comics now, like recent? Like who do you have like a top, or do you have like a top 5 of all time comedy wise?
Bill Hicks, love Bill Hicks, Eddie Murphy, Ronnie Dangerfield, mentioned him. Doug Stanhope, he's probably
I'm gonna cut you off again. Sorry,
Go ahead. No,
but the way I see Stanhope, he's an old school comic in a new world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yes.
And he's still doing it. He's still drinking. He's still smoking. He doesn't give a fuck, dude, and that's what I respect.
Sick.
That was the shout out of the week last week. He doesn't give a fuck. Shout out to not giving a fuck. That's what I said. Remember? But yeah, dude, he's an old school comic in a new age or a new world, and he's still doing his thing. That's what I respect about Stanhope, man.
It was Stanhope is he's that exact. He's the last of a dying breed, which is ironically one of the names of his specials. But like I'm cut from that same cloth where it's like I still drink a beer on stage and I'll still say some shit and it is getting like it is hard to say things though but it's all about how you say it. I could get away with anything. Like I've said, that's why if you look at my special or just anything, I say everything, but like there's a way how I say it and there's context, there's substance, like there's a reason why. Some comics just do it for this. If you can't really do it for the sake of doing it anymore because there's no reason. They're just gonna edit it and they'd be like, "Did you see what he said on stage?" I remember when they were trying to go after Tony Clifton. Tony Clifton, I'm sorry. Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
That's a different comic.
Right?
Yeah, that thing. Like, I remember I was like, all the LA comics, I was like, well, how did he say it? They're like, it doesn't matter what he said. I was like, yes, it does. How did he say it? Because there's a difference between what he said and how he said it. Because you can say anything you want, but it's how you say it is like, what makes the difference. And when I watched it, I was like, yeah, he was busting his fucking balls because he just finished. He went on stage first.
And then they had the guy was already making jokes about himself.
Exactly.
I was just
So it's
gonna
like
say that,
you leave yourself open like that, right?
Yeah.
You're living your and then just being a comic on stage, you're leaving yourself open for any type of humor in general, right? Especially if the guy's a lot bigger than you, a lot you kind of want that publicity too, right?
It's like I understand why he did it because he just he was just busted his balls. That's all it really is busting his balls after he went up, and then that was it. But yet, of course, the only thing that was captured was those first 3 minutes of him just fucking just grilling him. But but the context was removed. The reasoning was everything was removed. So. That's why it's like what's the world we're living in right now, where it's like it just gets spliced and put on display, and this is what he said. Look, can you believe that? But it's like, okay, well, no one questions it. People react to it.
Okay, so now that you have now that we have like garnered that like line that you have. How did you feel about the Ari Shaffir thing when he actually went on Twitter and was talking about Kobe Bryant?
So what's funny
That's
is
stuck between a rock and a hard
mad.
place, huh?
I'm a Clipper fan, and I was mad. I was like,
sorry.
well, "Fuck this dude."
But it was in the name of comedy though, because I've heard he's done that. To
Yeah, he does it.
people.
And he does.
So what do you think about it being that type of person?
Personally, because dude, I cry. That fucking day. I remember every fucking thing. Like Kobe's like another influence of mine, which is funny because I remember Ralphie was like, Kobe's an influence. He was like, fuck yeah, it is his work ethic.
Mamba
Mamba,
mentality.
dude. Plus, I'm a huge
You
Laker
could take
fan.
that anywhere.
Yeah,
right?
you can take that anywhere. And so yeah, my screensaver is Kobe. And but like when that happened, I had to be like, I can't get mad because he's doing what I would have done. He's doing what I do. I can't get mad at that. But my other thing was that I hope he understands what he's about.
Repercussions.
Exactly. And that's all I said because everyone was like, dude, did you get me mad? I was like, the number one rule is don't take it personal. And that's why you people react because they take it personal. But once you don't take it personal, you won't react. And so you'll feel okay with it. And so at first I did flinch. I was like, how the fuck, how dare you? I was like, wait, I know what he's doing. Like, I need to stop. I've hung out with Ari. Like, I don't know if he remembers me, but like, we've done some shows, and I remember one time we were watching a playoff game because he's a big Hornets fan. He's from New Orleans, and he's told me, he goes, I hate the Lakers, I hate Kobe. Like, so I knew all that, and so when he did that, I kind of was like, yeah, that's what he does. Like, I just kind of knew it, but like, I definitely feared that. Like, I feared for his life because Laker fans and Kobe fans are fucking nuts.
I was watching a video with there's this YouTuber called Danny Duncan. He was just like this guy who vlogs and shit like that. And he actually went to like the big rally that they had for him. And one person said, "Fuck Kobe Bryant." There's 6 guys who jumped on him. And
I saw
that
that
too.
Up, bro.
I saw that too.
Fucked him up.
Yeah.
I saw a video of that. And that's why I go, hey man, like that's a line. I don't know if you want to cross.
Yeah, no, it's
like,
for
I don't
sure.
know.
It's like the guy tackling Dave Chappelle on stage. Like you got all the celebrities beating your ass. You know?
I was gonna say who kicked him? Who kicked his ass? Jamie Foxx and who else?
And Busta Rhymes.
And Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
Big ass arms.
Yeah, dude.
But it's saying he should be honored to even be in that position, you know?
If he could talk. Yeah. Dude, his arm was all busted.
You got beat up by legends, you know? Come on, dude. It should rub off on you a little bit.
No, I posted an Ari Shafir clip yesterday on my Instagram, actually.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny.
That's what I'm saying. It's like after, because I did the same thing. Because like I'm a big fan of Kobe.
Yeah.
You know, being a Boston Celtics fan. Go Boston, by the way.
I know. I was gonna say. I want to know that backstory.
Go Clippers.
KG. That's
Hey,
KG
I
went to the he was in Minnesota. He was my favorite player at the time.
That's cool.
I like
that.
shit talking, and then he went to Boston, and I was like Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, KG. It's my new favorite team. But I have been with him ever since the Isaiah Thomas stuff, the Kyrie Irving stuff. So I'm a fan.
That was a big mistake.
Cool.
Why get rid of Isaiah after the year he was after the year he had?
He
gave him everything. His sister.
He had a knee problem, bro. I'm telling you, it was bad. Like it was deteriorating. Well, you saw his career declined after.
Oh yeah, it's never been the same.
Yeah.
So the big three.
Where were we at? Fuck.
Kobe. Talking about Kobe and Ari.
Oh yeah, it was the same thing because like. I kind of felt the same way. I guess until like Joe Rogan brought him on, and like, but he kind of explained himself. Like I did. It was funny. Like this is what I do. It's funny shit. And I could see how some people laugh because not everyone's a basketball fan.
Yeah.
So like I was like, it's pretty funny. It wasn't funny, but I was like, it was just tasteless. You deserved a bombing moment for sure.
There's an audience for everything, and I'll say that too. Let's kind of write on that. Like, I remember my grandma died, and I remember years ago, so no big deal. This is like 10 years ago or 12 years ago, whatever the fuck. But I remember we're on a road trip, me and Corey and Chad. We're on a road trip. We're doing shows, and I remember I'm driving, and because this is how we kind of like make each other feel better. So they're in the backseat, like, "Hey, so do you think your grandma's like pussy's like full of maggots right now?" Shit like that, right? And I'm just like, I love my grandma. She was my favorite, and I'm just like trying not to get mad. I'm like, I know what you guys are doing, and it's not gonna work. I just told that, and then like I held it together, and and as soon as we pulled into the show. Like I pulled them aside. I was so close to pulling over, kicking you guys out of my car. And they started laughing. Like,
you were driving them too.
Yeah, I was driving them.
You assholes, bro! What the fuck, you guys?
Left your asses here.
He had an eject seat button.
But it taught me. It taught me how to control my emotions, how to have thick skin. And also, like, kind of like laugh about it and kind of just be like, "What the fuck?" So that's why I get Ari, like, why he would do shit like that, and that's why we do it. Like, like I, like the worst times, like, I've had a lot of close, people like die in my life, and it's the first thing I do is I say a joke, and it's just it relieves, the pain, the stress, or whatever. But comedy, laughter. It does heal. The more you laugh about it, the less it kind of like, it's rough and it hurts, but the more you laugh about things, the easier it will be. So like,
I heard Coco Joey Diaz say that actually on the podcast last week. Saying like he was talking about his mom because he found his mom dead, and he's like, and it's sad. The first thing I did was think of a joke, like, and my mom's literally on the floor. But it's obviously it's a coping mechanism. It can be a coping mechanism, but like you said, he's like, there's a joke for every bad moment.
So I was the one that found Ralphie, like dead. Like I was the one that called 911. I know. Sorry to bring the show back down again, but there's a joke. There's a joke. There's a joke though.
Okay.
So like when I found him and shit, you could Google it and you'll hear my fucking 911 call. But like right away, I laughed because like I remember.
Hold on, real quick. We can hear your 911 call when
you can Google it. I'm not gonna Google it. I listened to it one time. I was on another podcast. Where,
is it like a Dave Chappelle thing where it's like, oh, I just shit myself?
No, the panic in my voice. My voice was so fucking high because it was so panicking. I was just in panic mode because I just fucking,
naturally.
Yeah, obviously.
I was
supposed to be taking care of him. I was like, oh shit.
That's why Dave Chappelle says don't Google it.
It's Google.
Oh, shit myself.
You can type in like Ralphie made 911 call or whatever the fuck. And but right away, because people didn't know like I was with them. And, so when I tell that to people, they're like, oh my God, I remember a friend of mine's like, you should go to therapy. Like, I'm sure you have a lot of like emotional, like, you're going to have like some trauma. I went, listen, Ralphie wants me to have trauma. And I was like, because there's good like 5 minutes of material in this that I know I can find. And that's how we deal with it with trauma. Like all my material, the most part, it's that. So with Ralph, like I had a joke. I would try to do it on stage, but as soon as I say it, I talk about Ralphie, everyone gets sad and sentimental. So it doesn't really work. So, and that's why I stopped doing it. But I would go on stage and be like, yeah, there was 2 lives lost that day. Ralphie Mays and my comedy career. Because I was like, no, I need you to be alive. Please. I was supposed to make it.
My career's on the line, guys.
Hello, 911. How my comedy career's dead. I mean, Ralphie May. And he would, I know him. He would fucking, that's funny. Like, you son of a bitch. Like,
I just thought of one. I don't know if I can say it. But yeah, he's ironically, he tried to kill me the first time, but it's him who ended up dead.
Dude, so So go even darker. So like I even like when I was trying to flip him over, I finally flipped him over, and his body landed on my left leg, and I couldn't get him off. So I went from like going to like, oh, let me try to pull him over gently to like, get the fuck off me! Oh my god, his fucking body! And, like he would have laughed. Like I know he would have fucking laughed his ass off. But yeah, I mean that's just what we do. Like as comedians, that's you gotta find the fun. There's a funny in everything, and that's the challenge of comedy or being a comedian is finding the funny in everything.
Definitely.
That's awesome. Yeah. We might have to cut that, but yeah.
Whatever you guys want to do.
I think you're good.
We might do it behind the scenes when we're bigger.
Whatever you guys want to do.
Patreon
episode, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I have to pay for that.
yeah. Paywall. I gotta pay. Yeah, pay the $5 to get the story.
For every dollar you make, we'll donate it to Mark and the comedy.
And my dead comedy career. Please book me.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
So do you have anything you want to plug, dude?
Yeah, I have a podcast, the Lakers podcast, Fear LA, presents Up in the Rafters. It's every Tuesday. YouTube, Instagram, our handle at Fear_LA. Check me out on Instagram at Gonszo, Gonszzo. I always post my shit there. I'll be doing my own podcast called Gonszo Hour with Mark Gonzalez whenever I have time to finally edit and upload that shit. That, and I have some like videos and stuff like that, but mostly just stand up, like my comedy dates. I'm trying to do my website again, so all my dates are on one page again. Cool. But if you check out all my social media, Mark Gonzalez comedian, or type in Gonzo, just Gonszzo, it'll all pop up. You'll see all my shit. Yeah, that's generally it. Yeah, I'm just back to doing shows again. Try to write another hour, do another comedy special. Gonszo 2, which I'm fucking pumped because I want to do it like action movies. I love 80s action movies. So yeah, I want to do Gonszo 2, Gonszo 3, Gonszo 4, and shit like that. But that's generally what.
Did you watch the new Top Gun?
Not yet. I haven't watched it yet. I'm a big Steven Seagal fan. I love bad Steven Seagal movies.
Oh my god, Glimmerman? You seen
Glimmerman?
Yeah. With the one that Wayans brothers? Yeah.
The one, the one with fucking DMX is dope. Fuck, which one was that one? I can't remember.
Jet Li was in it too.
Yeah. I can't remember the fucking
They're like
name of
Robin
it.
Banks and shit, right?
Something like that, yeah. But that was a great fight. The fact you got Steven Seagal and DMX in the movie, it's like, yeah, let's go.
What? He's like, you don't know me, man.
Yeah. But,
there's these guys actually on, I don't know if they're YouTube or Patreon, but they're called Come Town. There's 3 guys, Stavros, Nick, and I don't know the third guy, but he's like some Jewish guy. And they're hilarious, and they do a bit like Nick does a whole bit about Steven Seagal movies, dude, and it's so fucking funny. Like the recent one he had with he's like, it's like sniper special ops, and they're like, he's barely holding the gun up,
so fat,
and then they have him dragging someone, but like it's clear like he's got him by like one strap, and he's like this, and then but there's like there's got to be a wire there somewhere,
dude. The editing these days is so bad. So for a while I was buying every single one that would come out on DVD just to have it, but I was like, dude, but I wouldn't watch it. But there was a couple of Pistol Whipped. It was kind of recent. That wasn't that bad, but like some of them are so fucking stupid, and you can tell it's like edited bad or like photoshopped. And
well, I heard that his movies too, like it's like his production company.
Yeah.
Doing
he makes money still, so he's not going to stop until he's done. Like
I think it's like a trending joke, and he just doesn't get it. But he's like, everyone loves him.
Yeah. Hey, people pay me money still. I'm gonna still keep doing it.
You watch this, grab my arm. Did you hear the story Kevin Hart said about Steven Seagal where he got choked out and he shit himself?
Oh yeah. Like they always I know that's like a one thing about like I think it was Gene LaBelle. Gene LaBelle choked him out. I heard about that story, and then like Van Damme always wanted to fight him, but like Seagal would always back down. Like shit like that.
That's fucking so awesome.
I'm a big 80s. We'll talk about that in the next episode.
We definitely got to do another episode, man.
So we've been going for a while now. 120, 1 hour 20 minutes. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
Just thank you for coming by,
hey,
man.
Thank you for...
I came with questions, dude. I came with questions. Like I said, I'm a comedy fan, bro. I like any like movies, everything, bro. Comedy, I'm a huge stand-up comedy fan too.
That's cool.
I came with some questions, and I'm just really happy to
awesome.
finally get some answers.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys loving the art, man. Like just comedy and podcasting. It's podcasting is the new medium, and you guys are doing it right. And
how was how was your experience on here? Did we do pretty well?
It was great. Yeah, it was fun.
Okay.
Dude,
Awesome.
This is fun. This is good. No, this is fun. You guys doing
He's self-conscious. He's like,
Well,
I know.
I am a little bit. It's like going up for the first time. You have someone big, and because most of the ones I've done have been with either colleagues or
Your friend,
we
yeah.
did it with a friend, and it wasn't the same as like having someone who's known and throughout the world, like that. So I did come in a little nervous.
Organic, dude. Yeah, as
Yeah.
long as you're organic and true and just having fun, that's what matters. That's it. That's with everything. Comedy and just entertaining. Just be yourself. That's it. Write what you know. That's my other rule. When it comes to like comedy, whatever makes you laugh or whatever amuses you, whatever you want to talk about, because it's passionate and people will see that. Audiences will always read bullshit. They'll hear you, they'll see you, and they'll smell. It's like sharks smell like blood in the water. So yeah, as long as you guys are yourself, you guys are great. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, I appreciate
Rock
that.
and roll, man.
Yeah. One plug I want to do though is again Saturday the 18th.
Oh yeah.
June 18th. Next Saturday. It'll be Tuesday tomorrow. So not this Saturday, but the next Saturday.
Yeah.
We will be at Ease Dispensary, 1625 St. Gertrude Place. Cheeks Productions will be there doing interviews. We'll also be podcasting, maybe having some colleagues come on.
I might stop by. I don't know.
Stop by.
I might stop by.
Former associate,
Stop by, say hello.
Yeah, why not?